and welcome to Blades in the Dark. We're gonna pick back up in the haunted city of Duskvol. It's been about a week since the incident with the Wyverian collector. Brolin has somewhat regained his, let's just say, aptitude. Hestia, you have essentially, finally, finished cleaning up the hideout.
It was hard work, but someone had to do it.
Very, very true. Having completed that particularly arduous assignment, what has Hestia been keeping herself busy with at this time?
Well, I have my mail route still. I'm not gonna, I gotta show my face to the world. And then it's a lot of family time, with that extra flow of cash and prosperity comes, fun pastries at breakfast and gifts for kids. So that's what I've been doing.
It is on one such mail route. You happen to be in the district of Coleridge, as it were. Now, this district, obviously home to the ironworks and several different factories and the like. Something has come to your attention, however. A rather, I don't want to say large amount. 12 people isn't necessarily a large amount, but it is certainly a crowd. They all seem to be shouting at one individual, well-dressed, handlebar mustache. And they seem to be quite animated in their vocalizations. You catch bits and pieces of, "You lied to us," "you thieving," words that I shall not repeat here.
Yeah, so I mix in with the crowd and get close, but not too close, and just try to see what's going on in my neighborhood. This is my mail route.
As you continue to listen, the situation becomes quite apparent. Apparently, these workers had been forced to work essentially double time for the past week or so. And the boss, in his quote-unquote generosity, had stated that he would pay them appropriately for the extra amount, but as soon as quotas were met and the project was done, it seems like he decided he wanted to keep everything for himself.
Okay, but that's not how we do business here in Coleridge. It's not allowed.
So, you gonna stay here with the crowd and start yelling, or do you have other things in mind?
I definitely... Do I recognize this man?
You do not, actually. From his dress, he may not be a native. This might be a relatively new business adventure from what you could tell. Even the sign on the building has what you would call a fresh coat of paint on it.
I I turn to whoever's next to me and like nudge them in the elbow, and I'm like, "Who is this guy? He seems terrible. Where'd he come from?"
The person kind of looks over at you and goes, "Oh, believe his name is Bran M. Relatively new guy. He opened up this factory. I'm actually not an employee here, obviously. I also came over to, see what the shouting was about. I don't know what exactly he makes, but yeah, he's gonna pocket the extra money."
Well, I've always heard that those who steal and hoard and are just not necessarily great guys. Bad things seem to happen to them. I don't know if it's just this neighborhood or the world, but we don't do bad here. And I tip my little mail cap to her, and I saunter off. But I keep looking back. I'm just scowling at that guy. Like, meh. You'll get yours. Eventually.
As you look back, the shouting continues. People are just downright not pleased. So, with that, Lottie, what have you been up to in the past weeks? Or past week?
I have get back to my usual work as a bounty hunter and try to get some contracts and maybe some. Now that I have associated with other people, maybe try to get a word from the streets and see if there's a job for us, maybe.
All right, go ahead and give me a roll here. Since you're looking for information.
Yes. I'm gonna use survey.
That sounds fine to me. Three. You don't hear much, honestly. Not anything exceedingly great. You do hear the occasional murmurs of stuff going on, but unfortunately none of it perks your ears, so to speak. It just seems the typical Duskvol type happenings, so to speak. Brolin.
Brolin has likely been visiting probably spending quite a lot of time at the pleasure barge, trawling the waterways.
Rigging any games?
He doesn't hustle there. He wants to keep his presence welcomed. So I've been likely just playing genuine games, probably breaking even if I'm lucky.
Eventually, at one point, Gabriel claps you on the shoulder and goes, "Gambling again, I see."
I don't gamble. Gambling is for people who lose money. I'm here for the company.
Yeah,
This is... And in the company of one of his companions, and this is someone who I would love you to meet, who I have paid for their company and not to remember their name.
Gabriel kind of, nods his head and goes, I feel like, Hestia has some information for us, back at the area. I'm gonna gather everybody else as well.
I'll cash out.
With that, Gabriel also pays a visit to Lottie with very much the same message. And that is kind of where we're gonna pick back up after... I wouldn't say a day's passed, but it is the next day. With everybody at the apartment.
Who's sitting in the chair?
It's always for a guest. It's never for me.
Gabriel would not be sitting in the chair because I feel like Gabriel might break said chair.
Oh, likely just sort of sit on the sort of semi-sit on the window ledge.
Lottie, you're gonna have to. We're not sitting around the chair. Sit in that chair. Sit.
No, it's,
Lottie.
It's your chair. I'm gonna sit on the bed. It feels kind of rude to use your chair. You are the one with the news.
We really need to improve this place.
Yeah, so someone needs to sit and listen. This is how the chair works. Did we not go over it last week? I'm gonna need you to sit on that chair, Lottie. Please.
Okay. I sit on the chair. So quad.
You guys, there's a bad man rolled into town, and he's taken advantage of my friends, my people, my compatriots, and that's not what we're about. That's not what I'm about. That's not what Coleridge is about. And so, I want to take him for all he's worth, and then actually pay his workers. That's like rule number 1. Pay your workers. It's a hill I'll die on, Lottie. A hill. A hill.
I was going to suggest we take him for all he's worth and then potentially buy more chairs, but...
What's wrong with this one? It's a
We
good
could do
chair.
both. It's a bit. The chair seems a bit lonely, to be honest.
Okay, but what if the other chairs make it feel bad? It's not the best chair. It's not even a great chair, but it's our chair.
Gabriel's kind of shaking his head.
So you want to be the altruist, you want to play to the common good.
I mean, like, if something falls into our pockets, or another, maybe sofa's not a chair, comes in, that's okay, right? Like, we have to eat too. I've got to put bagels on the table at home. But, yeah, I mean, there's no true altruism. But also, this can't stand. It can't stand, Brolin. It can't.
What do you know about him? What are his weaknesses?
Well, he's a jerk, and no one seems to like him. He just moved into town, so already that's suspicious. Yeah, that's all I know. Oh, his name is like Bronham. That Braun. Him?
That's a stupid name.
Right?
Like,
Stupid
it's
name
called
for
like
a
that.
stupid guy. Also, he has a mustache. Who has a... Sorry,
Just checking
Brolin.
it's waxed.
Yeah, you can have that if you want. Sorry.
No need to apologize. Well. Shall I go and ingratiate myself?
Yeah, right? I mean, that's kind of... Also, you owe me one. You owe me one for last time.
Yes, I do. Fair enough. And I will go to Coleridge and see what I can find out about him.
Give me a check.
Okay, I will speak. I am going to speak to some of the, not the workers. I want to try and find people who actually know him and find out a little bit more about him, but as surreptitiously. No, that's a 2.
All right. You're not gonna want to resist harm here?
Yeah, I'll resist. Go on then.
All right, go ahead. Give me that resistance roll.
On which one?
It's gonna be what is it called? I'm drawing a blank here. My brain's fried. Resolve. There we go.
Oh, crit! I get 1 stress back, which I haven't got any stress.
Excellent. As you discuss this newcomer, it has become painfully clear that he is pretty new to the region. Hasn't made a lot of friends, as far as you can tell, and if he has made friends, they're not talking to you, or if they are talking to you, they're being very careful with their words. You don't get the feeling that it's going to get back to him, though, that you were asking questions.
I will head back to the apartment and nothing. He's got very few friends. Those people that he does surround himself with don't either know him very well or they're protecting him.
That seems about right. That like matches the character of a bad man. Sorry, I don't mean to be so cookie cutter about it, but he's not good. Objectively.
I believe you. Absolutely, I believe you. But without a weakness, where are we going to hit him? He clearly has money. There's no luring him in with the usual bait.
We can't hurt the factory. If we hurt the factory, the workers have no place to work.
We could try to find why he came to the city in particular. Maybe if he is that bad, maybe he's trying to run from something from the place where he was. Maybe he has already trouble. I mean, if you treat your employee like that, you have to be in trouble.
No, it's just Coleridge. That's normal.
Yeah, but we could be lucky.
Hashtag not all Coleridge.
Hestia, do you think you can get a tail on him for a couple of days?
Yeah, my mail route can slow up for a bit. But you're gonna have to give me chocolate, right? I can't be late and not have a gift. So but yeah, I'll follow him. I'll follow him good.
With your mail route in this situation, I would say that actually gives you a bonus die to any sort of following or skulking, because even if he sees you, so to speak, it's not out of place because you're delivering mail.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So good. Is this a survey or a hunt?
I could see both. I could also see maybe an argument for prowl here. I could see all three.
Alright, not to play to tie it, but I'm gonna do a prowl.
Okay.
This is me hiding behind mailboxes, slipping behind lampposts too small for me. It's the lamppost.
He turns just for a second to look at you. However, most of the day is relatively uneventful. As you follow him about, one thing you notice is he seems to have a particular interest in the occult side of things. He's popping into various occult shops. He's visiting little rundown, for lack of a better word here, churches. There's definitely something of interest that he has with these particular things. But as soon as he turns to see you, you see his brow furrow a little bit. And he eventually makes his way back to his factory pretty shortly thereafter. And obviously you're not going to follow him into his factory, I would assume.
Not today. Yeah, I finished my mail route, hand out the last of the candies to the old ladies who had to wait and wait for their letter from their grandson. And I come back to the apartment, and I'm still upset that Brolin's not sitting in the chair. Why? Why do you hate this chair so much, Brolin?
Because I do believe Lottie summed it up very succinctly and said, it is lumpy. There was a decided spring which pokes me and, well...
That's not nice. Anyway, Brolin, Lottie, do y'all know anyone in the occult business? Like, churchgoers?
I don't know a churchgoer.
Not all
But I know a guy.
Taisharosi, and not all Taisharosi are whispers. What's it going to take to shed that reputation? But you know
I'm
something.
sorry, I didn't know.
I do know someone.
So,
Who's this?
Lottie, who do you know?
Well, I have an acquaintance of a sort. He's not a friend, but we have worked together and we exchange information from time to time. And yeah, maybe it could be interested in a job.
Okay, don't leave me hanging here, Lottie. Who is it?
Sorry. His name is Omen. I think I know where to find him if I search well. He's good and he could be useful to us. If we can promise him he has something to gain from it.
We share the wealth here. And the chair.
Well, maybe he will like the chair.
If I sit in the chair, should we talk the score? Lottie? Fancy going and seeing an old friend of yours, I suppose.
With that, Cornelius Draak, also known as Omen. What are you up to?
Well, I right now am just curiously looking around. I'd say night market, possibly, for something that could be interesting. I'm bored, essentially, right now. My main job at Charterhall is the same as always, so let's hope something unusual, something different happens. Oh, can be bored. We'll see.
The various vendors have numerous wares visible, most of them not of that much interest to you, though. Mostly mundane items.
Fake.
Pretty much, actually. Like, it's mostly just people trying to turn a quick profit off of the gullible. It isn't... It's about at the last stall on the street that you see a person approach you. What exactly does Lottie see here? And give us a word picture of your character, if you would.
Well-dressed man with a black top hat, smoking his pipe, a walking cane, and a beard essentially like mine. He is sort of trying to not look like he does not belong, but he does not belong because he's doing a bad job at pretending to be of this area.
Well, Lottie, your instincts were right. He was kind of right where you thought he would be.
Interesting.
Hmm? Put away my pipe. Not really. Another fake. Hmm. Well, good to see you, milady.
Good to have. What have you been up to? Do you have something going on?
Eh, nothing of real interest, I fear.
Well, if you're looking for something of interest, I can kind of have maybe a job for you if you want to.
Oh, yes, please, I'm too bored. Yes, whatever it is. Unless it's attempting at the life of the governor. But everything else, yes. I'm too bored.
About scamming some rich jerk.
Hmm. I already said yes, so I cannot even ask for more information before making a choice. I already made it, so... Well, let's not... Where can we speak? And we're still standing in front of a seller who is trying to give us some random stuff, so... Just looking around, I absolutely have no idea where we could go to talk. I don't like the middle of the road.
I'm gonna introduce you to some friends with who I'm working with. And I guide him to the apartment.
All right.
And along the road, I just give him information about who they are and just a little bit of what we have learned about Mr. Him.
I will listen. Take notes. Literally, I'll take out this and write some notes on people.
Your travels take you to Crow's Foot. As you enter into the first floor of the apartment, you can see it is, well, to your keen and educated eye, an absolute hoax and a charlatan sitting at a crystal ball. Due to your training and knowledge in these aspects, this would fool the average citizen, probably. But once again, you're like, that's wrong, that's fake. It doesn't even work that way, as you're kind of looking about. The lady, at the sound of the door opening, kind of looks up. She's adorned herself in pearls, and her eyes are a milky white color. More come for a fortune?
Do you want her to raise your fortune?
I take out my tarot deck with a simple. I read my own and I can read others' eyes.
Do you want him to read your fortune? He's very good.
You're with one of the tenants. And she obviously kind of adjusts hearing Lottie's voice. The others are upstairs. If you wish to just proceed, I do not wish to waste your time.
I follow Lottie, whatever because she's my guide.
with Lottie heading up to the apartment. Why doesn't everybody give a brief description of their characters, since we have Omen here now?
So Brolin is a Taishirosi. The telltale sign is additional 2 eyes that lodged in his temples, which have the square pupils of it like a goat. Eyes themselves are also violet. And he's well dressed, but not formally. No kind of like tie or cravat or anything. Sleeves are rolled up, and he wears a vest over the top, and permanently shuffles a deck of cards.
Lottie is folding a mail carrier's outfit into a nice little square, and then motions towards the chair. And but she's 20-something, average looking, but in the setting she is putting on a very nice wine-colored vest and very nice starched white shirt, and it looks like she's going somewhere, but that place is like hovering around the chair. She's got nowhere to go, and you know it.
The other individual in the room is a very large man, roughly about 6'3". You'd estimate at least 300 pounds. He is dressed in probably what he considers finery. Rings on every finger, button-up shirt, but it's unbuttoned down to like probably the 3rd or 4th button. His coat is leather, but is obnoxiously colored. Fur lines the lapel of his coat. Slick back, black hair. And he kind of gestures over at the chair. If you don't sit in that chair, or if somebody doesn't sit in that chair, Hestia over there is going to have a fit.
As I go to sit, because clearly someone needs to. They need 2 things. Well, 3 things came to mind. No, two. Who the hell did Lottie bring me to? And this guy clearly doesn't know how to dress properly. This is way too much, but I will not say none of those things. And just, well, good day, sir,
Everybody,
ladies, well, gentlemen.
How's the
this
chair?
is
I've sit on worse chair.
So, from what Lottie tells us, you're somewhat familiar with the arcane.
Yeah. Yes. Familiar. Yes, let's use familiar.
He's very good. So everybody, this is Omen. Omen, this is my group. This is my sort of new friend. Oh,
Pleasure to meet.
I hope.
It's a pleasure to meet ladies' possible potential new friends.
Pleasure's all ours.
Yeah, I'm looking in this moment, and only then in this moment is when I realize that I'm talking. Does anyone mind? If you do, I'll put it away. Otherwise, I'll continue.
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
To be
Open
honest,
a
I didn't find.
window. Sorry, I can't have the smell get into the chair.
Stood by the window.
Please.
I'll crack the window open
I
behind.
put the pipe away again.
You have to put your back in to open that window.
Fully aware of that now.
Well, I've been told you have something to do, and for some reason my occult abilities or knowledges are required.
Yeah, there is a factory boss who's not taking care of his workers like he should.
Surprised.
And he seems to have an affinity for churches. And I use that loosely. They've seen better days. I'm not ragging on anyone's churches and what they look like. I'm just saying these churches are a little run down. But there's definitely spooky vibes coming off of him. What did you call it, Brolin? Arcane? It's spooky.
Arcane.
Okay, well, it's spooky. I don't know what to tell you. It's spooky.
So the idea
Okay.
is this Bron that we've had brought to our attention, we take him for what he's got. And we play to his interest. The man clearly has money, so we can't bait him in with the opportunity of making more, so that's where you come in.
Go on. What do you need me to? Do you need to go and tell him stories about the occult powers that are coming after him, or what? You want me to
no,
tell
we-
and see if he's actually doing anything supernatural?
We need to lure him in with something that he's going to potentially put a lot of his own money into to get his hands on, for whatever reason. But this thing has to look legitimate until he scratches away below the surface and realizes that he's been had. By which point, hopefully we've all made a clean getaway.
Yeah. Well, I need to know who this person is, in details, if we can, any of his past, before I start looking for, what could attract
His
him.
name is Braun Hem. He's from out of town for sure, and
Does he have family? A dead wife, child, mother, father?
I'm sure he has.
Cat.
I mean, oh, I hope he doesn't have a cat.
No, a dead one. I don't care if there's a living one. I need a dead one.
Oh, gosh, I don't even know if he's from here. I can't imagine he's got something buried here. But he works at a factory. I can take you to the factory. I'm pretty sure everyone's still outside and angry.
Yeah, that would be a start, yes.
All right, children, field trip. Are we going on a field trip?
So,
We're better to go than Coleridge.
It's a dry heat in Coleridge. You go ahead and take your coat. You never know.
So, as you guys begin to head out to Coleridge, I feel like this is probably the time I want to actually call for the engagement roll, since I would also... I would also assume that Hestia at this time is also going to take Omen to the various shops and places where this individual has visited during the tale that Hestia did.
Oh, of course. Definitely. But it's on a mail route. And so, like, I'm keeping a low profile.
Of course.
So don't say my name. Don't say my name. I'm Matilda today.
Matilda today.
Understood.
So, with that, is there anything anybody else wants to do during this, as Hestia put it, field trip?
I don't know if I can do that during the field trip, but I would like to check to know if this guy has any bounty on his head.
All right. Make me a check here.
Can a hunt check work?
I could see a hunt check.
Okay.
5. You don't see any bounty. However, you are able to come up with a little bit more information about maybe not necessarily the man himself, but his whereabouts before he came to Duskvol. He is from the main Imperial continent, as it were. Where's the map? There we go. From what you are able to uncover, he's from South Point originally. And it definitely seems like he's been on the run. You're not entirely sure why, though. He's from South Point. He bounced up to Wintercliff, to White Hollow, to Cloudspire, and now he's in Duskvol. Like, out of the major cities in Akaros, he has only not been in 2 of them. The Imperial City itself and Elysia.
Okay.
You do see that he is a factory owner by trade. Whenever he can, he opens up a factory. He seems to be there roughly about a year before he nopes out, so to speak. Also, Omen, I would like a check from you as Hestia takes you to the places he visited.
Now what I'm looking for specifically would be based on what he did in every place, what the occult or arcane thing was connected would be like. So, example, if he received a blessing against being demons, and there a charm against demons, and that, well, clearly there is demon issues, or something like that. So I assume it's study.
Study works?
Yeah. Okay. 5.
Every place that she takes you, unlike in Night Market, where it was fake this, fake that. Each place she takes you to, is very real. And they all share one thing in common. And that is the expulsion or repelling of demons. And most of the shops that she shows you, it becomes very apparent. These aren't your standard demon bane charms. These are the ones that are, for lack of a better term here, military grade. These are not small ones. These are ones dealing with particularly powerful and nasty ones.
Okay.
You're better than him, right? Right? You're better?
Yes. That is a given.
Lottie did introduce you. I'm sorry for doubting.
I do not mind. Differently from simply a muscle or a long rifle, the arcane arts are hidden and unknown in the person who knows how to use them. It would be interesting to learn more, but for now, what does his industry, what is he producing or extracting or similar?
It is very much, well, actually, you know what? Make me a check. Either you or Hestia in this case. I'm assuming that was kind of in character.
Yeah. It was more a question that I was asking Hestia.
Fair.
Essentially, Omen expects that they did everything, checked everything, and now they came from him, and not that they are doing everything right now. So when they doing things like,
And actually,
okay, not as bad.
It would be pretty easy for anybody to tell from the factory. It is an energy plant, essentially. It seems that it has several wires that lead all throughout the city. Maybe even some of them connecting to the Great Lightning Barriers, for all you know. Obviously, you can't necessarily follow one line throughout the city. They become tangled messes.
Isn't energy... this is the player asking. Is it energy produced by the blood of the Leviathans?
It's distilled, though.
Yeah, distilled. Yeah.
It's important that it's distilled.
Yes. But it's not the only thing that you can... The distilled blood of a Leviathan can do much more than just produce electricity. Okay.
So, I feel like this is the time that I get over to the questions for everybody here. Obviously, Omen is going to pass information off to everybody.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I add while I tell my reasoning is that it assume they get the refined blood from somewhere and then transform it into energy. It would be interesting, but really hard to calculate if there is any difference between what comes out and what comes in, if something is lost.
Brolin, you had something real quick?
Potentially.
Continue.
You say that he is looking into demons, more keeping them away. I'm wondering if we do a black market play.
Couldn't that be dangerous?
Not if we're controlling the black market, and it was never really there to begin with.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought... Still new to this, thank you.
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Blades in the Dark, What Happens in the Dusk, part of the Domain Gaming, written and told by Wyverian and Livespark. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. As always, comments are welcome. Until the next chapter, remember the first rule of a con. Offer them everything for nothing, and give them nothing for everything.